The only thing you went up on is your public hearing ads.
Yeah, I think I may have phrased it as a slightly different. Remember what I wrote?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's an oversimplification to call it public hearing ads.
Do you want to change that?
Oh, yeah, let me see if I can find the, do you have the email that I sent you?
I don't know if it's gonna come up, I can try.
Right,
At
it's,
least the history comes up.
yeah.
Let's see. Yes, so you put, $200 general buffer for ads, fees, charges, etc. So I could just rename it fees.
Yeah, I mean, hypothetically, if we're not making any changes to anything, the actual budget expenditure will be nothing. But at the very least, we're going to have this immense potentially $100 fee to make it so we no longer have to spend money on public hearing notices. Have you clued these guys in, Steve?
No.
Okay. There is an RSA that was, might only be a couple of years old, but they finally said you don't need to put it in the newspaper, or public hearing notice. You can put it on the website and to public places. And that's the most wonderful thing in the world, except for the subdivision regulations beat that. They override that. And in order for us to edit our subdivision regulations to no longer require a newspaper and instead allow for a website posting, we have to pay money to put it in the paper. It's like, actually pretty entertaining to think about.
You have to put an ad in the paper to say that you're not putting ads in the paper anymore?
Exactly, you have to put an ad in the paper to follow through legally to allow you to no longer have to put things in the paper. So that's what we're gonna do. It's another $100 that won't be reimbursed. There have been a couple of subdivisions at a time here and there. They add up. Yes, hypothetically, we will be reimbursed. It would be nice to know that the budget was planned to eat that if for some reason it didn't work out. And yes, the point has been made that the 50% increase is outrageous. I mean, 50% of a dime is a nickel, right? It's not like we're adding $500,000 to $1 million budget. So that's my angle on that.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is the client supposed to pay that fee?
They certainly do, but we can't always have them pay it immediately because, well, as it's been going, we don't know how much the newspaper classified is going to cost, for example. The town may very well be billed for the Mylar recording before we know that information, and we're not, in my unprofessional opinion, it's probably better to just wait and take one good check rather than have to process several for the same amount.
Well, you're supposed to get everything up front before you even proceed with the subdivision.
Hypothetically, yes, but if we don't know how much to charge.
No, I understand the newspaper ad.
Yeah,
I totally understand
If this
that.
goes through, that will no longer be a consideration. So, I don't know, I feel like 200 is cutting it pretty tight, and I think that the board has done a good job in the last several years of demonstrating that we're not looking to throw money away, and we would like to have that trust.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that the planning board has acted responsibly, and I think it just gives them the latitude to be able to do that. I also, I mean, this is just my personal opinion. I know that we haven't spent the training funds, but I'd like to see them
We should.
spent.
Yep.
So that gives us a little flexibility in that regard too.
How much is training now, though?
I'd like to see the training actually go up.
Well, maybe we should adjust that. Maybe we should have that 150 for the fees and 50 for the supplies and 100 for the training, and then.
Sarah, what's the normal rate for NHMA for?
Oh, it varies depending, I think, in person is what, about 70 if they charge, 70, 75?
Yeah.
75 and
yeah,
150.
So
Yeah.
there's 150 and,
And that to 150.
you know, if
And
you
then
get two
there's
people
some-
to go to
there's some
training, that
that
would
are
be,
free.
that'd be a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have people who are willing to participate, who don't have an ulterior motive, who will only be willing to participate if they can get the adequate training, it would be foolish to not spend it on them.
So you're just talking about NHMA training, whatever they do,
Yeah, you go-
whatever they do every year for planning boards,
Right.
okay. That's easy enough to look up.
I had a sour experience going to the training because I felt like they were not treating it as a beginner course,
Oh,
and it devolved very rapidly into experienced members asking specific questions that were so far over my head as far as my experience that I might as well just not have been there. And, you know, it's like you learn to play the guitar solo before you know the chord. It's like not worth doing.
yeah.
And,
That was a long time ago, maybe it's changed.
well, yeah, let's be optimistic. I think that that's great. And yeah. I'm open to adjusting it however is appropriate. I mean, maybe the buffer doesn't need to be as much, and the training budget could be 150 with the hopes that two people this coming year would be able to go together and learn off one another. On the flip side, Sabrina and Amelia both felt as though the online training was sufficient. And it was a free session, I believe. If it wasn't free, it was like $15 or something. It would be,
Good.
I can't remember. But you know, it was kind of the same story. It was just Stephen Buckley going through a slideshow, and in many ways having online training where there's less of a room full of people who can shut their voice into it. It makes it a little bit more likely to flow in a sensible way and not be constantly interrupted with complex questions. Or at least the moderator can more easily say, that's too complex. It's easier to type that
Yeah.
and say, shut up, and like, you know, it's a...
Usually it's send me an email, we'll get back to you, yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly, no, that's a,
Yeah.
it's a little different.
But they can do it online for like 15.
I don't remember what it might have been free.
If you're at 15, that's fine. Shouldn't have to raise that then, but.
I think, yeah. I mean, we're, you know, we're accomplishing what we need to squeak by, but we're like not the most organized board, so it'd be nice to be able to trade between those categories as the need presents itself.
How updated are your RSA books? Or does everyone use their cell phone now?
We use the internet an awful lot, and we have at least 2 effectively modern RSA books, like 2022 or something. I mean, it's great to get them when they're offered by the planning commission for $15 or whatever. We try to keep them on that.
Put your name in right away for them.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because they're over $90 a piece.
yeah, it's crazy.
Does anybody mind if my dog is here?
No,
Just make sure she doesn't bark.
With Sarah, she won't. Sarah always gives her treats. Oh, she is
So,
We've lost her, so.
yeah, so Angus, you can move things around within your bottom line as needed.
I think that that's the goal, is that we have this like sort of plan, and it is adjustable game day decision based on our judgment, so. And I don't know, I mean, there's other towns that do, like their planning board accomplishes a lot more, but I think their budget would be 5 figures instead of 3. And that's worth recalling when it comes down to how big of a deal it is to change between 2
pretty much the only reason it's raised is to get rid of the whole newspaper ad.
Well, it's an example of what might arise that would cost us a little too close to what we're hoping to spend. Like this year, we're probably, you know, it's plausible that the newspaper ad that I put out this week will be shorter than the one that Scott Sanborn put out, and it won't be $100. I mean, I've seen them as low as 16 and as high as, it seems like usually 40 to 70 is what we've seen. The last one was $110 or something, and it was just like, all right, we just gotta get rid of that. You know, but if there's legal advice that it goes beyond the scope of the Free Municipal Association phone call, then it'd be nice to be able to spend $100 on that if we needed to and not have to scramble. And then, you know, if that were in a kind of a bulk fees category. You know, like I said, we haven't abused our budget in recent times, if ever.
I don't think you ever have.
No.
No. I don't have a problem with anything on this budget.
I don't either.
So no changes, leave it at 300.
There's a high likelihood it's $100 or $200 that's going to go right back into the general fund. And if it doesn't, it's because we needed it.
Should be it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
That was tough.
It was extremely stressful. Do you want to hold on to this or do you want to keep that? You can keep it. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Want to come up a couple more minutes early, Bonnie?
I think, Catherine, did you need a copy?
Oh, yes, please.
And you wanna give her your time for one too?
Thank you so much.
So I'll jump straight to, where do you put in Twin Bridges? Out of here, where's Twin Bridges in here?
For what purpose?
Internet support, tech support.
Sarah puts it under, you have to ask Sarah how she, it's not in my budget.
Oh, so her,
In Mitchell's,
originally
yeah.
it was in Mitchell's budget.
Okay, so never mind then.
So, are we doing tax collector first? Is
Yeah.
that what we're up to? Thanks.
Leaf, I think I'm here an hour early for the library, is that 11:30? I was under the.
Yeah,
Okay,
11:30.
so I'll leave and come back in.
Okay.
Okay. For some reason I was thinking 10:30.
I didn't wash my glasses this morning, so I can actually see. Okay, so, for tax collector, there's not much increase. What did I increase?
Licensed software.
Yeah, because we just don't know, at this point, I don't have any estimate as to what that's gonna cost.
Could y'all speak up again, please?
I said I don't have any estimate for
Okay.
the software yet. They don't, Avatar isn't one that usually sends me early estimates, do they you?
No.
So I'm assuming, because everything else in the world goes up, that it's gonna go up. Phone and fax, I always go on Sarah's recommendation. We're gonna cut it really close this year, so I put in an extra $25 only because I'm really close right now. And other than that, I think everything else is the same. I don't have much to justify, it is what it is.
Yeah.
As far as, on your second page, Twin Bridges has informed us that my tax collector computer is no good anymore. They can't update anything, because it's so old. I think we looked it up and we think it was about 2016 when it was replaced last.
I think that's when the warranty ran out, was
Oh.
2016. I think it was 2013.
So anyways, he can't do any of my updates. Right now, he can't update anything.
Okay.
So, so I don't know, I mean, years ago, about 5, 6 years ago, we always had a computer line item to take care of computer needs, and we no longer have that. So I don't know if the board expects me to put it in my budget, or if you're going to have a line item for computers. I don't know what you are gonna do. So that's why I've listed it under, I don't want it as a special warrant article. It
No,
can't be.
I think it should be in the budget.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it should be in the budget too.
Because if you put it as a warrant,
Go ahead, no,
it's defeated.
of
then-
course, and then it's not an option.
Right, exactly.
But again, I don't know if you want it in my budget, or if you're going to have a computer budget. Wherever you tell me you want it is where we'll put it. But it's gotta be purchased, bottom line.
Yeah, maybe we ought to put that with the software support, the whatever line item we're taking for Twin Bridges, and just add it to that.
And if you look at the figure I gave you, it's kind of crazy. It really isn't $14,080, it's $1,480, a typo error. And I included a copy of the quote, so.
Okay.
And I haven't talked to Alan directly, he's been talking with Sarah about it, so I haven't talked to him. So, any questions about, I mean, it's pretty
No.
straightforward.
Don't have any issues with any of it?
No,
No, none.
So staying the same.
Stand.
No, it went up. Oh, it's staying the same, but
If
I
you're
proposed, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, there isn't much. So town clerk. Elections, of course, went down because there's less elections this year, thank goodness. The license software, again, it's bound to go up, it doesn't go down. And I didn't put much for increase, $60. And again, I don't know what it's gonna be. Phone internet, again, I think we're gonna cut it pretty close to the $1,100. Because I think, Sarah, isn't the phone, it was like three or 4 more months.
There's, for that one, there is 3 more months. 'Cause that
3 more
goes through
months,
to
yeah.
September.
Yeah. Postage, I asked for more this year. I'm not positive, because I didn't dig out last year's budget, but I think my budget was cut last year on postage. Postage is now going up every
January.
year,
Yeah,
and
at least.
sometimes twice a year,
Right,
now they're
yes.
talking. And as far as this goes, I don't even have enough money in my budget to buy my stamped envelopes this year. So I'm gonna run out of stamped envelopes before the end of the year. Supplies, this says that I only spent $271, but Sarah just placed a big order, a couple $100, so I'm gonna run really close on my supplies. Training, I asked for more because last year, we definitely take advantage of anything that's free, or webinars, but I think one workshop alone for Penny and I last year was $210 for the 2 of us. And we definitely, by law, you are obligated to pay for us to go to the big annual conference, and that's around $800, and we've never taken advantage of that because of the cost. But we definitely, to go to the annual meeting in Claremont, and then Penny, we were registered to go to 2 trainings, but I had to drop out of one of them for some reason, and we did get our money back. But again, just like Angus, it usually costs about $80 or so for each one of these trainings. Wages, I didn't ask for any difference, and stipend is the same. License fees to the state, that's gonna be pretty close. That's for all my vital record searches, dog licenses, so that's pretty close. And I never know, of course. So much of both of my budgets are guesstimates, because I never know how many cars I'm gonna register. I don't know how many people are gonna come and ask for a marriage license. I wish I could lock in better, but it is what it is. So, of course, the budget went down because of the elections, but there's no big surprises. I don't have any, I didn't put in for the restoration. What did we do, 5,000 last year?
Yes.
5? So, I'm sorry, I missed that conclusion, so I'd like 5,000 again. I am looking into a different restoration company, Co-File. I had a great experience with Bill Stewart, but the new person, he retired, the new person that took his place, I can't get her to come to town. She wants me to either go to her, which isn't possible. I mean, they were out of Burlington, Vermont, and now they're closing that office, and now they're in Texas, and it's just not possible, and she's not flexible. So I'm working with other town clerks to find out where we can turn to. I've always liked their work. They've done a great job, but the service to me is the important thing. So anyways, that's why I haven't said that this year, because I'm still working with other town clerks. We're all trying to get together and to figure out what route to take. Questions? It's all pretty straightforward. I wish I could.
I just have one question about the training.
Sure.
On the transaction detail, Sarah's got listed in March that both you and Penny went to the New Hampshire Clerks, it must be Clerks Association, to the new clerks workshop, and that was $160. And then in May, you were reimbursed for the both of you to go to the NHTCA workshop.
Town clerk, tax
Okay.
collector.
So
Different
I mean, they kind of sound like they're the same thing, and then you had said that you went to the NHMA one, but then
They're
you
not
were
the same.
reimbursed because you
Yeah.
didn't go.
They're not the same. They cover totally different
Okay.
information. You wouldn't go get the same information.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
No, I just wondered because of the amounts you were saying, and then you said that you didn't go to one and you were reimbursed, but that's not showing up here.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
we did it reimbursed.
Okay.
I don't know where Sarah put it, but yeah.
I'll have to look
I
to
think
see
we
where-
talked about that actually.
where it
Remember when I
fell.
went over my budget? I brought that to your
Oh,
attention.
okay,
But
yeah,
it didn't appear on my.
yeah.
Okay.
I have to see why
Yeah.
it's not showing up.
I have a question also, and it's gonna sound confusing because it was quite a while ago, you were at a selectmen's meeting and you said that you needed to get a new ballot counter or something, we had to come up with
Ballot machine.
ballot machine.
Oh, thank you for saying that, yes.
Okay.
So, yes. So the new, yeah, we need to add that. Thank you, Maureen.
Good job.
So the the ballot machine that we have is no longer, they can't even supply parts to repair it anymore. So every town's got to buy a new ballot machine. The state has a program where they're gonna the ballot machine is $7,000. The state is gonna reimburse us $3,500, and I've already put in all the paperwork to get that reimbursement. The new machines are not, I wanna stay, we have different options for different machines, and again, because of service, I wanna stay with LHS. They're great, they come up on the spot if I need them. And it's, again, $7,000, we'll get reimbursed $3,500, so we need $3,500. The new machines are not gonna, they're still working through the ballot commission, there's a lot of red tape, but they're not gonna be available till after probably January 1st. I've reserved the machine with no obligation, but it's all in the works to be done.
So we should add that money into your budget then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that should go into the budget.
Yes.
Election
Not as an
directions.
article.
Oh, yeah, you can't put it as an article
No.
because
Yeah. Right.
we don't have a choice unless you want to have people hand counting again like we did for
No.
many years.
So I'm gonna make a new line item that says ballot machine, and put the 3,500 there.
You could put it,
Yeah,
You wanna just
the
put it in
elections.
Put it in elections? Okay. Do that.
Now it's gonna go right back up to that 8,900, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, at least there's no change then.
Yeah, we'll shock people. Thank you, Maureen.
So that changes the
I
election.
see it was so long ago, I did all this work and went to these demonstrations and reserved it, did the paperwork for the,
That changes elections to 7,850.
And the bottom line changed.
No one has any other issues with anything else?
No.
No.
1 second, I'll give you the bottom line. So the total from taxation is 23,450, and the grand total is 45,050.
Okay.
and as you all know, I'm very frugal. If I don't spend it, you get it back.
Thank you.
I don't rush out. I might rush out and buy stuff this year if I have money because I need postage and stuff that I wouldn't normally, but I have a tendency always to hold back and not purchase things that I need until I know what prices are gonna come up. Because I don't know when a printer's gonna die.
That's right.
Or,
Can I ask a question that is not actually necessarily about the budget? As far as like vehicle registrations, is it possible at all for you to get that information a few weeks earlier than you do now, so it could get mailed out, giving people like more like 6 weeks heads up? Just because of the postal service we have now? I'm just curious if that's even a possibility. Yeah,
What are you
yeah,
talking about?
yeah,
I can do whatever I want to.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
get that information from
Yeah.
anybody but me.
okay.
I'm the one
I
that.
don't know if any of that was tied into the state or EB2 or whatever that we use for the
No,
online
it's
stuff.
totally dependent upon me.
Okay. I
This
just,
postal service is horrible.
it is, that's why I thought I'd ask if it was possible for them to maybe go out a couple weeks earlier than they have been.
I'll think about it.
Thank you.
I'm glad we have a carrier now that's more reliable.
Yeah, he just introduced himself to me.
Dennis.
Dennis.
He's great.
Yeah,
Although, you know, he was complaining to me because he didn't like the fact that he had, I've forgotten how many there were, 90 certified letters for delinquent dogs. He said, that's too much work. I said, I can't give that service, and I'm sorry that you
No,
did
It
that.
all fell on him, he didn't get any extra for it.
well, you should come talk to me about it, he and I would be on the same page.
He said, can't you mail out 20 a day? So I tried to explain to him it's all driven by dates and that it's not my choice as to staggering them.
Yeah, that's a spike in work that would happen, so there's not much you can do
He's,
about it.
well, one of his complaints is that people complain to him about the process. I said, you're not in the process, you're delivering whatever, so what you need to say to people is take it up with the town clerk.
Okay, Danbury's having the same issues. People are, Danbury complaining about the transfer station, but they're calling the highway department to complain.
Complain about this.
If you're in the big push, please do not call the highway department to complain about the transfer station. Probably they have nothing to do with it. No shit.
Well, on my voicemail, I don't have it anymore, but I used to say, if you're trying to reach such and such, do not leave a message on this phone. If you're trying to reach the selectmen, do not leave a message. Because I get people complaining about the fact that they want to welfare and I wasn't responding to their
Yeah.
light bill or
Yeah.
their oil bill or, but, yeah. It's a fun time for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Should have told Sandy to stay.
Parks and Rec.
Might as well go right to it. No, they haven't showed up.
Trust what Sid said.
Okay, Ed. I guess we can take our time, I don't think it's gonna take much time.
Yeah, Independence Day activities went up by 300. Miscellaneous went down. Playgrounds up.
What you guys planning on replacing the playgrounds?
What's that?
What you guys are planning on replacing in the playground this year? Anything?
Not at this time, no.
No, I didn't know if there was something you guys had in work.
I'm looking at different possibilities, but trying to add something.
Add something to where the skate park used to be,
No,
Conquer skating area, it's just sitting there.
no, that should never have been there. I mean, if you want to put a skate park in, you don't.
No, we were trying to do something with that area.
No, over in with the, where the kids are. We added we put the airplane in this year, the bouncy toy, and also the fire engine was added this year.
Could we move the porta toilets to the concrete? So they're sitting on level ground instead of the ground? Or are they on concrete?
That they are on a
Are
corner.
they?
Yeah.
You know, we should look at the ground that they're on.
Are those things you bought last year?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have a question regarding, you have under miscellaneous, you were reimbursed for the recreation mailer, which I'm assuming is the one that always comes out for the Independence Day.
Yeah.
So why isn't that number, that budget item included in the Independence Day activities? Just a question, seems like it is something specific and specifically tied into Independence Day rather than being miscellaneous.
It happens every year, so it should be a line item, a part of a line item.
Right.
Yeah.
I can move it if you want me to.
Yeah.
It's movable. You may know.
If that bumps up Independence Day or something, or changes anything. I see fireworks went up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Independence Day,
Yeah.
that was the reimbursement for the mailers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the same company plan on doing the fireworks next year
Yeah.
with no issues?
No issues.
I don't have any issue with this.
I don't either.
So all staying the same?
Yep, 4,600